are listening to the War Rapport.
Let's talk about special teams. Let's talk about our specialists here. Uh, I know there's still some competition. They've been kind of mum about who the certain guys are going to be in certain spots, but even though we kind of have a clue who they may potentially be. But I want to take a look at our specialist, who's returning, who's incoming, and who is gone. So without further ado, here they are. So returning is Anders Carlson, Evan McGuire. Punter is Marshall Myers, Oscar Chapman. Long snapper, Kyle Vaccarella, Reed Hughes, Jacob Quattlebaum. Added is a new kid, kicker Alex McPherson. Punter, Marshall. I think we got Marshall Myers in two places here, and Oscar Chapman. But I think long snapper is Daniel Perez, and he gone. Ben Patton, who recently transferred out, and Aiden Marshall graduated. So here are our kickers, and what do we think? Let's start with. I'll start with you, B. Will. Our thoughts about the kicking game in terms of field goal, kickoffs. By all accounts, it seems like Anders Carlson will be the guy. But your thoughts about his production going into this year? A little disappointing. We know he got injured towards the end of last season. Your thoughts about him in this final year?
Well, it's somewhat comforting that we've got Alex McPherson, which I think he was the highest rated kicker in the class. I may be making that up, but somebody check my math on that. Anders Carlson was shaky last year before he got injured, and the question I had was that part of the reason he got injured? Was something ailing him and then it just broke, and that's what caused the injury? Or was he just a less accurate kicker than Big Brother? And honestly, I don't think we know the answer to that. You hope it was an off thing, or maybe it was something that was nagging at him that he just couldn't get over, and that the injury gave him time to, get off that leg, get it repaired, be back and at least to himself, and maybe even better. We don't want the kicking game to be a liability. 40 and in, we should be able to count on our guy. Maybe a road game, it's a little different, but 40 and in, you should be money. You should be money with 40 and in. Past 40, it gets a little dicey, and that's for any kicker on any level. 40 to 45 and 45 to 50. A truly special kicker will be somewhat reliable past 45 and 50. But really, can we please count on this guy 40 and in? I would love it if Anders Carlson could give us 40 and in. I don't think we know what to make of it until he gets out there, he starts kicking a couple, and they're not flying left and right uncharacteristically. They're aimed right down the center, but he can have enough leg from 52. Okay. You know what I'm saying? That's not unreasonable, but I'm just hoping that kicking game, man, is exactly what we need it to be. Because I still don't think, even if we are a better quarterback team, it doesn't mean we're going to be a high-flying offense. And I fear that some people will try to make that equation that, oh, well, look, we're not scoring 35, 40 a game, so why did we go to TJ Finley? Or why did we bring in Robbie Ashford? Or why do we have Zach Calzada here? There are many rungs between where we were quarterback-wise, quarterback play, and not just personnel play, because TJ was a part of that as well, and what the next step is. We can take the next step forward, and that could be ball control, consistent drives, holding the ball, possessing the ball, and giving our kicker something easy to hit. That would have won us many games. Well, more games than we actually won last year. So the kick game needs to be consistent. I sincerely hope it's something that we can count on, similar to what we have with Oscar Chapman. Man, he is great. Oscar Chapman is a very, very, very good punter, and we wasted a great season from a great punter last year. Field position would have been something that between our defense and our punter, we could have dominated, but our offense couldn't generate enough yards to flip fields many times. So it was an issue. Between this punter, what we expect from Anders Carlson, our field goal kicker, man, please just let us win some games. Let us just 2005 and 4 win some games, like defense, field position, special teams. Yes, I would love to win some games that way. Would absolutely love it. And hopefully those guys are healthy and prepared to contribute their best season yet. That's what I'm hoping.
Guys, let me ask you. Donnell says Oscar equals Ray Guy Award. We know
Ray
how
Guy.
valuable Oscar Chapman has been in the punting game, and he's been the real deal. What are you guys' thoughts about the prospects of him at least being a finalist for the Ray Guy Award?
I think it's definitely in the cards. Field position is going to matter. Sure. And if he's flipping the field constantly and getting us out of bad situations where maybe we went 3 and out in our own territory, I think that could be in the cards for him, man. Like, listen, man, you're a punter. Go out there and kick the ball as far as you can the other direction. Don't shank any. And, put your team in a good position. This is one of those underrated things that nobody talks about until you go out there and he messes it up. And the other team scores. So part of a very good offense is about winning. A good team about winning the field position battle, and your punter is a huge part of that. So you're going to go 3 and out sometimes. And when you do, you need to be able to flip the field and give your defense enough cushion to work with. And he's going to be a huge part of that. I could see him being a finalist for that award, certainly.
Ike, your thought about who we have coming back and returning. I'm assuming Anders Carlson will be the guy. What kind of year are you expecting from him? I'm pretty sure this is a year where he didn't have a bad season, but there was some disappointing moments for him. I expect he wants to atone for some of those. What are your thoughts about how he performs this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think Anders has been a very good kicker for us. Again, I think I've said this before. I think people, for whatever reason, compare him to his brother a little bit too much, and that's a hard legacy to live up to because his brother was an amazing kicker. Like, he was one of those guys where it's like 50 plus, you still send him out there because he's got an opportunity to knock it down. Anders has just as big a leg. He's just not as accurate from deep. And coming back from an injury, I think it's going to be interesting to see kind of how much from the talks from the coaching staff, he still has the same kind of big leg that he's always had. So definitely looking forward to seeing what kind of season he's going to put up. I do think that it's going to be interesting. I expect, just kind of off the subject of Anders Carlson specifically, but I do think that Evan McGuire is going to get involved more in the kicking game this season. He will likely be handling some of the kickoff duty this season, so that Anders doesn't wear his leg out, coming back from whatever, and he's just got to be able to be the field goal guy. Yeah,
with Ben Patton going, I mean, the huge opportunity for Evan, right?
Yeah,
there's a big opportunity for Evan to step in because we don't talk about the kicker ever getting hurt, but you need a backup plan at kicker as well too. So if Anders is the guy, then he won the job. People better keep an eye on Evan McGuire because we may need him. So
I know this isn't like the sexy conversation to have. We're sitting here talking about kickers and punters, and but
we'll be blasting them if they go out there and miss.
Right. I was about to say you nobody cares until they're missing field goals or shanking kickoffs into the third row or something like that, or punt gets kicked off the side of your foot in a crucial moment in the game, right? But so the kicking game, it matters, man. Like being able to flip the field, as Mike talked about, being able to keep it away from dangerous returners in the kick game, and then having the confidence that you don't have to go for it on fourth. Like, you don't have to be Lane Kiffin. You can actually, kick field goals and get points. You cross the 30-yard line, coach, I got you. Right. Like that's a confidence that you have. And it changes how you call plays. Honestly,
that's true.
Knowing what your kicker's capability is changes how you call plays once you get close to the range of what they're able to do. Now, I know we get accused a lot of bagging on the previous guy, but I think that sometimes it made him a conservative play caller because he had Carlson in his back pocket and he knew All right,
for sure.
well, he's
sure.
good from here. I don't really have to get any more yards to get points.
Right.
You know, and so I hopefully, you know, as good as I hope that that Anders is going to be this year, I hope that we still have an aggressive mentality, but I don't want to go full lane. You know, never go full lane kicking. If that's just never go full lane kicking.
That's a t-shirt.
Yeah,
That is
never
it.
go full lane, Kevin.